Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
So I see we're still waiting for a couple of people, but I think we're going to start in the interest of being on time today with this lovely cool weather. All right, so welcome to our Information Regulator Update and FAQ session relating to POPIA. My name is Lettie Janse van Vuuren, and I will be your facilitator for the next hour and a half or 2 hours. Right, so all I want you to be very attentive on now is the fact that I've done on the slides the updates for the entire year. Okay, so as we go through, I'll take you through what was old and what is new. All right, I think some of you might have attended the previous webinar. I know we had one in July, and I had a little bit of an update there, and that was our free webinar. So just bear in mind that if you missed that one, you can also go and get that recording afterwards. All right. But what we'll be looking at today is all the latest POPIA developments that have been issued by the Information Regulator. I know I said Information Regulator, but there was actually one other document that I included, and I decided to do that last minute. I did it this morning in terms of an URBA document that relates very closely to POPIA. So for those of us that are auditors and perform any assurance work, and even if you're not, if you're just a regular accountant or a tax practitioner, it will also help you to see what type of questions they gave us to ask, which made a lot of sense. So I'll just so that you know that we've got that. All right. So this is on the next slide. This is me. That's the whole blurb of who I am, what I do, what I've done, and so on. Just in a nutshell, this is what I do. I do webinar hosting and training, and then I do a lot of research and development on the latest development, latest updates. And then I also consult to audit practices and accounting practices in terms of getting their manuals up to date and when they have issues with file reviews and whatnot, or they've got psycho visits coming up. Those are the panicky phone calls that I normally get. Right. So let's quickly look at what's on the agenda for today. Starting off with our contents one, we'll do a recap. Well, I'm just going to show you the recap on the basics because there's a lot of implied information that you should already have at this stage. I'm hoping that none of you are hearing the term POPIA for the first time today, and this is what you want to attend on. This is really just a touch base. The plan was that we do this on a monthly basis. We'll see whether or not there's enough need for that in our market to have this type of item. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll record it as a monthly update for you guys, and you can all just get it then as a instead of sitting for the 2 hours, have like a half an hour summary, an executive summary. All right. So we'll start off with a recap. Then we're going to look at when I say 2021 POPIA updates, those are the ones that have been done in the first half of the year. The latest PIA manual templates, we'll be looking at those as well, and it includes that. So the 2021 updates, I have split between existing updates and then I call them latest updates. Okay. But what's very important is I have already included for you the PIA manual templates. Okay. I've already included a lot of things in terms of the compliance checklists. I've given you three basically. I've given you the extreme systems one, and I've then given you the Word version document, which I will show to you when we get there. And then I've also included for your use a document that is called compliance to-do list. Just a to-do list that we found that is so useful that you might want to implement as well. And then after looking at the updates, we'll then spend some time on the most popular frequently asked questions. All right. FAQs, remember this is the one thing that you can't make into an acronym like SICA and SIPA. You can't make it a mnemonic because otherwise it sounds rude unless you say it really slowly and you say FAQs. Right. But otherwise, if you want to talk fast like I do, FAQs is the way to go. All right. Because if I say that fast, it's going to sound very, very rude. So apologies for I promise I won't say that. I've gotten into the habit of saying FAQs. Right. But our majority of time will be spent here on the latest updates. And when I say, oh, sorry, no, not that one. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The 2021 one, which is the first half of 2021, and then the latest one. So let's get cracking and start. The quote I have for today is just a silly little quote because this feels like it should be an area of specialism, isn't it? So, just a quote by Martin Fisher, who said, "A specialist is a person who fears the other subjects." And you'll obviously agree that none of us are specialists. I think we refer to ourselves as sort of a jack of all trades because our clients expect us to do just about anything and everything for them. And we've got to have knowledge on everything. I find that as well, where I would like to be regarded as a specialist, but I think that as a generalist, if I have a look at the types of questions that I get from clients and the type of assistance that I've provided in the past, um, I wouldn't say that I'm a specialist. I don't fear other subjects. I think there are too many other subjects that we have to go. Right. Morning to the guys that are joining us. Right, just in time. So let's get started with the introduction. We're going to do a small little recap on the basics. As always, I use a lot of abbreviations in my slides, so this is just what they stand for. POPIA, the Protection of Personal Information Act. PIA, Promotion of Access to Information Act. InfoReg, I have the Information Regulator of South Africa. And then FAQs is Frequently Asked Questions. Right, those are the four ones I think that I've used mostly. Where I have used acronyms or abbreviations, I have actually just explained them on the slides. These are just the ones that go over more than one. Right, so we have today an assumed knowledge that I'm assuming all of you have, including things like definitions, who the role players are, and the basic requirements. Now, in your bonus document, there's a document called the Basics of POPIA, right? So what I would like to do is to quickly share my screen with you. And this is what the document looks like. Okay, is that big enough for everybody? Yes? Hoping. All right. So this document is also available to you in your bonus documents. So what I've done, you'll see it's a 10-page summary that I made with really the basics of POPIA. I know that some of you might have been on previous webinars and you would have received this as well, but I mean, it still remains relevant. Okay, so the yellow areas are just the ones that I think are the most important. So you're more than welcome to refer to this document and even use this for training purposes if you wish to. All right. So that was just that checklist, the basic document. Remember that it applies to all businesses, including employers, that process personal information. So we have to go and ask ourselves, what is a private body, what is a private body, and what is a public body? Because some of the questions that I've received is basically what happens if we have a company, and I'm sure you've got lots of clients that are dormant companies. What happens with them? Should they also comply with POPIA? Should they also comply with PIA? Because they do have they do fall under the definition of public body or private body. But I think let me show you the definition. I've got it in the document. In the document, it says here, private body means a natural person who carries on or has carried on a trade, business or profession, but only in that capacity. Okay, so if if they have carried on, they carried or has carried on a trade, it doesn't say how far back you should go. But the interpretation is that if they are currently dormant, then you might have grounds for exclusion. But do you see here it says any person who carries or has carried on any trade? So it means that if your company is dormant now, you did carry on a trade, you're just dormant now. it might be that you are still regarded as a private body then. Right. So you would still fall in the ambit or under the ambit of POPIA.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.